Welcome to the channel, viewers. We're moving out. Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, theologist. One of the hardest things in a relationship is when the problem's on the table but it's not being resolved. In my last relationship, as I keep mentioning, there were some serious matters going on with family members that were on her side, which paralysed me from going to her house. You get to a stage in life where you couldn't be bothered with putting up with people's, whatever their problems are, fantasies and delusions. She put it down to this person being just like their father or some nonsense. That's what you'll hear that a lot. Oh, they're just being like their father, they're just this and that. Which is totally irrelevant, because it doesn't matter who they're being like. Let's deal with the issue. Let's get the problem solved and move on. Now, when there's family members blocking, balking, interfering with, attacking, abusing, vandalizing the relationship covertly and overtly, in front of you and behind your back, and that person's not quelching or quenching the issue, you have got somebody that hasn't got your back. They're torn, they're split, they don't know how to resolve the problem. They've come to a place where they're stuck. This is showing you that the family member has a very powerful influence over that person. The person that you're having the relationship with is enmeshed with the family member. And if it's an adult child, the child's probably the golden child or something of that nature. And you ain't going to get nowhere with that. That's going nowhere, absolutely nowhere. The enmeshment will block the resolve, because the golden child has been raised that way. It's part of their persona. It's part of who they are, what they've become, how they've domestically been formed. That's how they are. And this will wear away at you. It's all right for the person that you're with, because they've made that person that way. They've formed that person to be that way. It's a domestic formation. It's permission. It's being made that way by permission, by grooming, by ego, by making that person get navigated by the ego, a lot of ego stroking and all the romantic, intimate talk that, goes on between these people, the sarcasm, the belittling, the antagonisms that groom these people into becoming hostile, hateful young people. Now, I come up in my life understanding that the key to my success was going to be the people that knew what I didn't know, the people that were doing what I needed to do. They knew what to do, they knew what was missing. They'd gone through life and learnt things, and they were the people that I got around. Even at the age of 16, I knew the older men were the wiser men. They were the ones that knew, that had been through where I was about to go in life. Now, I've never had people sit there that haven't got their licenses, are in debt, on drugs and all this other stuff, sit there and say, well, we don't like middle-aged men. And I'll be honest with you, I couldn't have cared less, but at the same time it broke my heart, because I thought, well, you guys are really going to be making it hard for yourself, because the wisdom that you need will come from the men that are older than you, that know better than you. And I said to the mother, I said, look, I haven't done all that good in life. I'm a millionaire, but, I've managed to accumulate that much, 1.56 million. It's not very much. But for somebody that couldn't read or write, it was damn well better than what most people where I come from are doing. And I said, I can, in some unintrusive way, help these guys to possibly get on the right track. But when you're competing with drugs and attitudes and hostility and sarcasm and antagonism and conceitedness and jealousy, you're wasting your time. And I said to the mother, I said, if you push on with me and you come out of this lifestyle that you've chosen, they're going to feel abandoned. They're going to feel betrayed. Because you have, as the leader of this family, for what part, wherever the father ended up, he was an alcoholic, whatever, I can't. Who knows how bad that was. These people are most definitely going to feel abandoned by you. And that's not going to wash real well for any of you, because there'll be trauma that is associated with that. This woman could not, she just could not and would not acknowledge to those boys that I may be an asset to them. And as a matter of fact, she went along with, to a certain extent, to a majority extent, with the son who was jealous and troubled with my presence with his mother. The son was no competition for me. He's never going to be any competition for me. And competition isn't about how well you can fight. It's about wisdom and how you get ahead in life with what you have. And if you think you know everything, and you don't need anybody else's help, I'd like to see where all that ends up. I'm constantly on the phone to people that I trust and appreciate, receiving advice and asking questions and learning and applying that wisdom day by day. I don't think a lot of this is deliberate. I think a lot of it is consequential and due to ignorance, but it's ignorance by choice. A lot of these people know how to a lot of these people are smart because they know how to do a lot excuse me, with the little that they have. So they can think and strategize and navigate and succeed, but their thinking is limited to the cap they've put on it. Excuse me, sorry. The cap they've put on it relative to the values they have towards the things they think they need in life on a daily basis. Now, this works against most people because they don't look outside themselves. And when they do look outside themselves, it's usually only by way of a desire that they have or a supply that they need. They're not fully outreaching in their life in a way in which they're going to produce the best that they can for themselves and for those that are closest to them, the people that they're enmeshed with. They just spin around in a circle like a dog chasing its tail. They get opportunities and they miss them or waste them. The income that they get from their jobs, most of that gets wasted on their passions and desires, and they don't accumulate anything. And their excuse for that is money's not important, yet they spend most of their life working. All they seem to do is work. They hide their accountability and responsibility in their work. They live with unresolved at incredible levels of unresolved and trouble and issues, and they think they can, wash all this away with substances and alcohol and medications and all this kind of thing. All of a sudden, their health catches up with them, their debt catches up with them, the fact that they haven't listened to anyone or sought out wisdom catches up with them, and they all sit there looking at each other like no different to pigeons eating seed off a tar road. And you say to yourself, well, this is part of the reason why you had to escape. You were starting to receive trauma. You wanted to get on in life. You were going on in life. But you're only going to go so far with these types of people because they didn't want to go any farther. They just weren't going to move. They were happy with where they were at. They believed in what they were doing, even though it was failing. And you weren't welcome in that space. The fact of the matter was, and this is where they missed it, you didn't want to be in that space. You wanted things to improve, and that's why you ended up splitting up. It takes courage, it takes pain, but when you come out the other side, man, it is so much clearer and better. It's just so much clearer and better, without hostility and without people enmeshed interfering. Let them go, man. Let them go, lady. Let them go, man. Because it's just where they've chosen to be, and that's where they're going to stay. And if you want to be mixed up in that and have all the unresolved and trauma and everything that comes with that, you'll end up unhealthy and sick and with bodily issues and mind issues as well. Consider what you're dealing with. Look at the roadblocks. Look at the things that are troubling you. If there's no resolve, everything comes back to resolve. If there's no resolve, leave and recalibrate, renew yourself, restore. Go through the time. Give yourself the time now, better than later, and everything will be all right. It's not about hate. It's not about someone being better than the other or any of this. It's about what's best for everyone involved. Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison out.